All the finest leadership training in the world can be completely rendered useless by fear. And from what I have witnessed, nothing undermines the power and blessing of a gifted, talented, equipped, promising leader like fear. But why is fear the fundamental challenge? Because fear is the silent destroyer of dreams. And you've been piled high with every leadership inspiration and toolkit and 8-point plan that you would ever need to be able to actually passionately pursue and lead that dream. And now, as we go out these doors, what I just promise you is that it will be the power of lurking fear that renders it all useless and begins to destroy the dream. Now, why is that? Because fear is the destroyer of the love that inspires the dream and replaces it with a preoccupation with self. Our most powerful dreams, they flow from love. We care deeply about something, and we know what could be. But then we step into this fallen and uncertain world, and the fear starts to rise. What if this doesn't actually work? What if I try this and it fails, and then everybody blames me? Now I ask you, what do you think that does to your dream about protecting the poor from violence? Fear goes to work. It begins to undermine the love that you had to try to protect Joseph and others from that kind of abuse, and replaces it with now a preoccupation with self. And the urgent question becomes, well, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to us? Now, surely this is a very severe example, but it serves to illustrate the way in which fear has this devastating effect on the love that undergirds our dreams. But truth be told, I have seen far more dreams destroyed by a leader's everyday anxieties and insecurities than these kinds of dramatic fears about violence. Because it's these everyday insecurities that are just right inside of us that lead us to abandon our dreams without even putting up a fight. As a leader, you have a dream in your heart, a dream of love, a dream of what might be so much better. Deep within you, past all the distractions and the noise, you have a yearning of great goodness. You have a love of irrepressible, transforming power that comes from the God who made you. That's why the make or break truth to hold on to is this: that the real soldier in the fight for all goodness and all love in the world is God Himself. And if we can hold on to that truth outside those doors, that is what will finally allow us to lead without fear. Now, 5 years after Martin Luther King Jr. gave that "I Have a Dream" speech, he found himself standing again before his followers for the last time, but he didn't know it was the last time because the next morning he was going to be cut down by an assassin. But he had been receiving constant death threats, and so he clearly had a sense that his time was limited as he was, for the last time, in front of his followers at a church in Memphis. And what did he want them to know? In another iconic moment of leadership, he wanted them to know that God had allowed him to go to the mountaintop and to see that the dream was secure and that fear had no power. I'm so happy tonight king said on the night before he died. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Friends, you have been given everything you need to lead this dream that you have been given, this struggle that God has placed in your heart. What glorious good might God do in you and through your leadership if you were to so trust him as to lead without fear? What dream of love might come true because your trust in him drives out every petty fear, because you are transfixed by a vision of the certainty of the glory of the coming of the Lord. So now take up the dream. Lead without fear out there to the glory of God and the transformation of his world. Amen.